This presentation is about looking into my own personal educational ideology and how this links with my own view of the purpose of education. This presentation will discuss what I think the purpose of education is, what my ideology is, and whether this is knowledge, individual or society-based. I will then go on to discuss the components of my ideology and how these link with the three main aspects of Megan's tables that is cited in Bartlett and Burton 2016. Finally, I will summarise why I believe these fit my ideology and which section of DeFore's 2011 tables my ideology fits in. I believe the purpose of education is to learn in school how the world works so children know for later life how complicated of a place the world could be. This can be structured into the all lessons or mainly into PSHE lessons, as they are able to learn about different parts of the world, whether this is cultural or economic. Learning how the world works leads on to what humans need to learn in order to live in society. This is key because in order to fit into society, you need to learn how you can act in front of certain groups of people and how you cannot act in front of others. For example, learning that racism is not acceptable in today's society, and this is reflected in schools by learning about different groups of people and how these people should not be discriminated against. Humans need to know how to act in order to live in society, as this will help them to develop as a human. This should be done as early as possible because basic life skills start with learning how to dress yourself and develop your voice through play. This should be done in the early years foundation stage. The earlier a child develops their voice, the earlier they can become more independent and learn that they have to say certain things what they want to do in life. Developing this voice will prepare them for adult life, whether this means using your voice in a professional context or in their personal lives. Also, learning to dress yourself is important as it helps you to learn from day dot that you are capable to dress yourself, as teachers are not there to dress up to 30 students and parents are not there to help either. So this will help children to learn to do this independently. However, the teachers will be there for support. My view on the purpose of education has been influenced by the work of Bartlett and Burton in 2016, as they say that education involves the learning linking concepts to gain a wider understanding, and how this specifically matches why children should learn about the value of money and how to apply for different things in life, such as mortgages, because these concepts link with adulthood, which can give them a wider understanding of life. My view of the purpose of education has developed as I agree with Bartlett and Burton in the fact that it is important to maintain order in society and prepare children for future roles along with developing themselves as an individual. I believe that my educational ideology links with what I think the purpose of education is. There are some clear links between the two. My ideology involves ensuring we develop a child independently through learning life skills and how they can become their own person. I believe this links with my purpose of education by letting children have the time to develop their own voice in the classroom and at home through play. Also, ensuring that schools and classrooms have a child-centred approach to learning. Learning should be based around all children and the interaction they have with others to help them learn and prepare them for the future. Overall, my ideology mainly fits into the individual approach alongside a knowledge-based approach. I believe it is important to teach students skills-based tasks as well as new social skills. Also, how teachers can influence the learner and what their roles are in the classroom. Finally, how assessments should be carried out in the classroom and how they should be done. These components have been influenced by Megan's framework that has been cited in Bartlett and Burton. The first component is to understand what is taught in schools. This is taken from the framework, and I believe it is important to let children learn through play and learn in different environments. For example, this can be done in and out of the classroom or in a forest school. This is when children can develop new social skills by working as a team in communicating and helping others, whether it is in a forest school or working in and out of the classroom. This links with the Montessori approach to the child-centred learning approach. However, by doing this, we must ensure there is a structure to this learning, so criteria in schools are still being met. My second component is to look at the teachers and learners' role in the classroom. I believe as a teacher it is important to make sure the learner is aware of your role and that you are there to help them if they are stuck or to help them with any personal issues. I believe this is important to start from day one because it creates a welcoming and comforting environment and creates the teacher and learner bond. However, if a child is not comfortable or adjusted to the class, the teacher should not push this straight away, as these things can take time. Secondly, it is important for the child to be given a range of options in what tasks they can do, as this can make students more engaged in the learning if they pick something they like. For example, in a geography lesson, if you're learning about different hazards, give the students an option to pick which hazard they would like to learn about first, so the work task can be completed. This is when students are much more likely to learn better, as they are given a bit more independence rather than being taught everything step by step. From this, I believe that teachers must allow independence to students so that students can achieve for themselves, but the teachers must provide them with guidance so they feel supported. Teachers are a man of knowledge, as they provide knowledge to students when teaching in the classroom and when they are helping them to make progress in school. So overall, I believe learners can be in charge of their own learning, as they know what they want to do in their future, and it's not up to their teachers to decide. However, the teachers need to be a part of the learning process, because they are providing them with the knowledge they need for their future. My third component is to use assessment in school. I believe that assessment and exams are deemed to be made scary and can cause anxiety in many students, because they are made to be the be-all of end-all. And this is not the case, as you can still achieve what you want to do by taking other routes. It just takes a little longer than the direct route. For example, to become a teacher, you do not necessarily need to go to university if you do not get the exam results. You could do an apprenticeship or get a job in a school as a TA by gaining some experience and then go on to university later in life. Therefore, you can reach your dream job even if you do not have the results straight away. In terms of reducing the pressure, I believe that it's important to try and make sure that you do not class the exam period as a scary time of year, as this will reduce anxiety in children. This will lead to a higher standard of performance from each child. Teachers could reduce anxiety in the classroom and keep the children more relaxed if the children's grades are taken from the classwork. This could be followed by the summative assessment by doing mindfulness tasks before the assessment to relax the children. On the other hand, you could make assessments more fun, as they are not daunting anymore. To conclude, I believe that my personal ideology of education best fits an individual approach, because I like the idea of a child-centered approach to learning, how learners can have more independence in the classroom by them choosing what they want to learn for themselves and occasionally receiving knowledge and support from their teachers. However, I would say that my ideology is not only an individual ideology, it also has aspects from the knowledge-based ideology, because my view on assessments is that they are key and they should still be used, which links to the government's view. And finally, I believe that teachers play an important role in the classroom, and this is supported by the government, because they say that teachers are an important part of the learning process.